You can deliver excellent work and still leave a client dissatisfied. That is one of the most frustrating realities in professional services. Lawyers and consultants often assume that if the quality of the work is high, the client will naturally feel confident in the relationship. But that is not always what happens. A client can receive strong advice, a well-developed strategy, or a carefully prepared deliverable and still feel uncertain about what is happening. The problem is usually not the work itself, it is the communication around the work. That is why client communication should not be treated as a soft skill or something that is simply nice to have. It protects the value of your work. It protects the relationship. And in many cases, it protects the future revenue connected to that client. When communication becomes unclear, clients start filling in the gaps themselves. They begin to wonder whether progress is being made. They question whether the project is still a priority. They may even start second-guessing the advice they have received. Once uncertainty enters the relationship, trust can decline very quickly. There are several situations where this commonly happens. The first is when a client becomes difficult to reach after the work begins. They may delay sending information, miss meetings, or fail to provide the internal data needed to move the project forward. Then, several weeks later, they return frustrated because they have not seen enough progress. From the professional's perspective, the reason for the delay may be obvious. From the client's perspective, it may feel as though nothing has happened. Another common issue is availability. Some clients expect immediate access at all times, even when that level of support was never agreed. If response times, channels, and boundaries were not discussed clearly at the beginning, clients may assume that constant availability is included. The problem is not necessarily the expectation itself. The problem is that the expectation was never made explicit. A third example is when clients want a fast solution, but are unwilling or unable to provide the information needed to create it. They want speed, but the process depends on input from their side. Unless that connection is explained clearly, the delay may be interpreted as poor performance. And increasingly, clients are also using Google, ChatGPT, and other tools to review or challenge professional advice. That does not mean they are difficult clients. It usually means they are trying to reduce uncertainty. When clients feel confused, they search for reassurance elsewhere. The question, therefore, is not how to stop clients from asking questions. The question is how to design communication so those questions do not become a loss of trust. The first step is to stop assuming the client understands what is happening. You may understand the project, the timeline, the risks, and the reasons behind a decision. The client may only see a short email, a delayed deliverable, or a period of silence. Those are very different perspectives. This is also why a detailed update is not always a clear update. You can send a 40-slide presentation that looks impressive and still fail to answer the client's main question: what does this mean for me? Good communication connects the work to the client's priorities. It explains where things stand, why a decision has been made, what the implications are, and what happens next. It also happens before the client is forced to ask. That is the difference between reactive and proactive communication. Reactive communication begins after confusion has already appeared. The client sends an impatient email, they question the strategy, they ask why they have not received an update. At that point, the professional is no longer only communicating information, they are also trying to repair confidence. Proactive communication reduces the chance of that happening. It means updating the client before the deadline becomes a concern. It means explaining a delay before the client notices it. It means setting clear boundaries before availability becomes a source of frustration, and it means anticipating the questions the client is likely to ask. This does not require constant communication. It requires intentional communication. Clients do not need to know every internal detail, but they do need to understand where they are, what is happening, and what they can expect next. A useful exercise is to review your recent client interactions and label each one as proactive or reactive. Did you provide the update before the client requested it? Did you explain the reason behind the decision? Did you make the next step clear, or did the communication only happen because the client followed up? This simple review can reveal where trust is being strengthened and where it may slowly be weakening. Strong client relationships are not built through good work alone. They are built when the client can understand, follow, and trust the process around that work.